Oh, welcome to NightCap Live. I'm Dan Dunn. I was not watching the Flyers game. I was not. I'm fully focused on what we're doing here tonight. You see me looking over there? It's because that's where the director is. Socially distanced. What's that? Oh, it's intermission. Welcome. I'm really excited to have you guys here with us. And I'm excited about tonight's show. We've got actor Dan Amboyer is going to be here, and Amy Yakuboff of Frérot Cognac. Yeah. That's what we're going to be drinking tonight on the show. Cognac! And what else? Oh, yeah, are we still doing this? Oh, we're still on. Okay. As always, I remind you to check out my podcast, What We're Drinking with Dan Dunn. Current guest is tennis legend Andy Roddick. Andy Roddick is on there. And we got Snoop Dogg coming up. We got Pitbull coming up. We got a lot of people. Anybody who's anybody is doing What We're Drinking with Dan Dunn. If you want to be on it, just put in the comment section to the left. Just say, Dan, I asked Dan to put me on the show, and I'll probably do it. What else? I'd like to start off with a message. And, of course, my corporate masters at Flaviar, my boss, I love them. They don't like me to get political, so I will not going to really get political here. But I do want to say I don't often agree with President Trump. By don't often, I mean never. But I did find common ground with him this week. He came out, I think it was today. It's hard to keep track with him, but it was either today or 5 minutes ago or yesterday. He told a group of people in Wilmington, North Carolina, he encouraged them to vote and get out there and vote. And I couldn't agree more with the president. I think everybody's got to vote come November. It is your civic duty. It's the biggest expression of democracy. So get out there and vote. I will say I didn't agree with the president that you should vote twice, because that's what he suggested. He said you should mail in your ballot and then you should go try to vote in person. Don't do that, because that's not legal. It's not legal. President, maybe he didn't know that. I don't know how he wouldn't know it. He is the president, but he didn't know it. So only vote once, not twice. What else? Oh, you might notice I probably sound great tonight. I just want to tell you, I'm moving up in the world. Look at that. Got a new microphone. So excited. Life during COVID. It's the simple pleasures. I got a new microphone, and I've been just titillated over this mic. It's the Blue Yeti Nano. They didn't want to give me the full Yeti. I don't know why. I thought maybe they figured I was not a big enough boy. So I got the little one. I got the Nano, but it's special. I like it. Sounds good, I think. Okay. Again, I mentioned the questions in the comments. The chat box is on the left. Fire away. We'll get to it during the show. As always, we have a giveaway here, and tonight we're going to be giving away two things. First, Frérot Cognac. I'm contractually obligated to hold this bottle up 6 times during the show. That's 2. Okay. We're going to be giving away that, and we're also going to be giving away a Flaviar membership. Flaviar, of course, is a club that brings together fine spirits enthusiasts from all over, every quarter. You get a Flaviar, they'll send you a package, you're going to get samples, access to exclusive, highly allocated bottles you're not going to find anywhere else. We're always working to keep you educated and entertained with booze-themed content and booze-filled people like me. I'm full of booze, or I will be by the end of this show, in a responsible way. We also encourage responsible drinking. Okay. Don't mess with me tonight. Flyers are on. So anyway, it's a great way to discover new flavors and bond with your friends and family over that sweet alcohol. And trust me on this, because I'm not only the Flaviar spokes guy, I'm also a member. So tonight, giving away 2 things. 2 things during the show: the bottle of Frérot Cognac and the Flaviar membership. And here's how you win. Okay? Pay attention. Get out your notes. So I'm Dan Dunn. That's me. I am Dan Dunn. And Dan Amboyer is our guest. You'll notice there's a commonality here, and that we both are very attractive. Well, and then we both have the same name too. Dan. Dan is my name. Dan is his name. So the question tonight, I want you to name the 3 best living Dans. 3 best living Dans. That's all I'm going to say. Doesn't have to be famous. I'm not going to give you any more guidance. The 3 best living Dans. Dan and Amy are going to sift through that and decide which ones we think are worthy to win prize. Also, Flaviar, I don't know if this is still going on, but I'll just say it anyway. We're offering a 10% discount on memberships if you use the discount code NightCap. I don't know where they got that from. Pulled it out of the air. NightCap. You sign up a friend. NightCap, 10% off. This is exciting stuff. Hold on, my director's asking me. Oh, no. Oh, the Flyers scored. They're on. I'm a big fan. I grew up in Philly. It's my hometown. I got to represent. I live in Venice Beach, California, but I remain true to my hometown team. And I think that's the kind of dedication that, gets me nowhere. What does it matter? They don't care about me. Flyers, they don't care. I care about them. Okay, so now we're going to bring on our first guest. He has starred in the hit series Younger and NBC's Blacklist Redemption, because the Blacklist was pissed, and then it got Redemption show. He also played Prince William of Wales in the film William and Catherine, a royal romance. And he is here tonight to powwow and drink with me, Dan Amboyer. Hi, Dan. How are you?
Hey, what's up? I'm good. How you doing?
It's good to see you, man. You're where are you joining us from this evening?
I am in Brooklyn, New York, and I have to say I like your shirt, Dan.
It's like we matched, except I got the. Are you by any chance a fan of the National Hockey League?
I think that's maybe where we diverge a little bit. I love their work. Their work, but from a distance we appreciate. Yes.
Yeah. It's funny during and I think this has just changed. I think it's reshuffled, everybody's priorities, but I find sports mattered to me a lot, and now it doesn't. Not so like I barely watch a baseball game. I haven't watched, I don't think, a single minute of playoff basketball, and I used to be it just doesn't seem that important anymore.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Other things do. So let's talk a little bit about what you got going on now. Obviously, you are quarantining. What is anything happening on the career front? You got anything brewing?
Yeah, well, I've been on a show that's called Tell Me a Story, which has been airing on the CW. It just started airing about a month ago. So I've been on some of the episodes there from the pilot on. So a couple of that stuff coming out, and I have a few short films working on as an actor, and also produced one called Egg Party. And other than that, I'm a new dad. So that is my big production right now. I am.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thanks.
Yeah.
And I actually just put the little Bambino to sleep about 20 minutes ago. So fingers crossed. But yeah, that's what I'm kind of focusing on right now, while our industry is kind of a little bit shut down, which I think you probably have experienced a little bit yourself.
So you put the baby down. You know what that means? It's cognac time.
Oh yeah.
Right. I mean, that's what I call it. How much do you know, Dan, about cognac? And we're going to have Amy Yakuboff's going to be on, and she's an expert, but I know a little. How much would you say where would you put your knowledge of cognac?
I might know a little of what little you know, but I love Cognac France. I love France. So I know that much. It comes from there. And if it comes from there, it's probably good.
Yeah, it's a brandy. Cognac is a type of brandy, and which is a distilled wine. Okay, and it's made in Cognac, France. That's the actual name of the place. Right. And there's a bunch of different regions, a lot of rules that go into cognac. So it's got to be, just to give you the basics, it's got to be made from one or a combination of just 3 types of grapes. The main grape is the Uni Blanc grape that goes into cognac. It's got to be aged at least 2 years. It's got to be double distilled in copper pot stills and they actually mandate the shape and of the stills. There's a certain time that the grapes got to be harvested. I think it's only in October that they get. And it's crazy. And then it's got to be they're very specific about the barrels that it's aged in. It's got to be French oak barrels from one of 2 forests. Okay, that lesser forest. if you go to the crappy forest and get your wood, you're not making cognac. I'm just telling you that. And then you got classifications. You got VS, VSOP, blah, blah, blah. VS is aged at least 2 years. VSOP, which stands for very superior, what am I doing? Very superior old pale. That's 4 years. XO is extra old. I think there's some other ones, Napoleon and other things that have gone on, but it's and then how people drink it. And this is, before the show, I noticed that Dan you had a snifter, right? You had a brandy glass, didn't you? Very sophisticated, aren't you? So I felt that was a challenge, and I went to find it. I could not find my brandy snifter, but Dan, I think I've got you beat.
Oh, yeah?
You can drink out of your snifter all you want. I'll be drinking out of this ice cream cone.
I think you got me beat with that.
So I think I will take the brandy here. 3. Let's open that thing up, and we're going to drink it with Amy. But I want to get a. Doesn't that sound good in the new mic?
It's very ASMR of you.
I feel like I'm I feel like I'm DJing, man. Sorry. By the way, the producer, the director, they're all going, stop, please, for God's sakes, just do it. All right, I'm kidding. I'm not gonna do it. I would like to drink brandy out of this ice cream thing, but I feel like it's encouraging people that shouldn't be drinking to drink. So I'm just gonna put some in here, and we're gonna put our do that? Oh yeah, that's the stuff. And then I'm just gonna take it, but we're gonna let Amy talk about it. But I want to have a cheers with you, man.
Let's do it.
Here is to being a new father. That's amazing, man. That's really special.
Thank you. Cheers.
Cheers. Boom. Nothing like brandy in August. That's what my grandmother used to say all the time. So Dan, you've got a couple of projects going. Obviously, in some ways, it kind of seems like this could be a blessing in a way, because you're getting to spend a lot more time with your child, right?
Honestly, that's how we've been looking at it. I know, it's a really, awful time in so many ways, but the silver lining is that I've gotten to spend so much time with my son. He was born in December, so this really happened right away. He was only 2 months old when I'm in New York, and we went on shutdown, beginning of, March. So it's been a blessing to be able to really spend the time with him and not feel constantly, just pulled away. So
plus, when he gets older, the stories you're going to have for him.
Well, yeah, and
you're not going to believe what it was like your first year alive. So, yeah.
And he's been to 15 states already, because we went on a little bit of like a cross-country, quarantining COVID trip, basically to leave New York and be somewhere safe. And anyway, but he's been to 15 states already, and he's only 8 months old. So
I've only been to 3 states. I was thinking about this, and by the way, I'm looking over, and the Islanders are now beating the Flyers 3-2. So Dan, I don't know if you're good luck. It was 2-1 when we started Flyers. Now it's 3-2. Dan, send the vibes. Flyers. Let's go, Flyers. Let's go. I'm trying to figure how many have you been to? A lot of the states?
The states. I have been to a lot of the states, actually. Yeah, and just before we had the baby, a big goal of mine was to be able to go to the states that are very unlikely for me to travel to, which is Alaska and Hawaii. And fortunately enough, I did a Hawaii 5-0, and all of a sudden I found myself in Hawaii just before he was born. So I got that checked
off. I've been to Hawaii. I've not been to Alaska, and I believe North Dakota. Those are the only 2 states I have not been to: North Dakota and Alaska.
I recommend Alaska. Alaska is a really cool trip if you get a chance.
Where are you from, though? What state were you?
Originally, I'm from Detroit area. Yeah.
Okay, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Where are you from? You're from Philly.
Philly. Yeah. Do you go back to? Yeah. Right. Yeah. Okay. People out here go, "What's the best Philly cheesesteak in LA?" I'm like, it's 3,000 miles away. Go to Philly. Is Detroit have a signature food? Is there a thing in Detroit that people?
Well, there's Verner's. Are you familiar with Verner's?
No, what is?
Verner's is I guess I don't know if it's Midwest or just Michigan, but it is I will say a pop. It is not a soda. It's a pop in the area. So I think Michigan will claim Verner's. as theirs. But other than that, no, there's not really like a signature dish. We have Coney Islands everywhere.
The hot dogs.
Do you know? Yeah, yeah. Do you?
I know where they are, but I don't want to break this to you, Dan. But you know, Coney Island's in New York. You can't steal New York's thunder
to
here
get
on
that
this.
Coney Island hot dog, you go to Michigan to get it.
Okay.
Not
I
Coney
was going
Island.
to say, if they sell New England clam chowder in Michigan, doesn't mean it's from Michigan, Dan. Come on.
Oh,
Yeah.
coming from me, I'm going to say the Coney Island the the best dog is in Detroit. That's what I'll say.
I did a wedding. I officiated my friend's wedding in Ludington. You know where Ludington is?
No, where's that?
It's on Lake Michigan. It's a kind of a resort town in Michigan. And not, by the way, I love Michigan. I'm not knocking Michigan, but at the time I was interested in eating healthy, still am. But I went into this diner, and I was actually, it was like the only place I think I've ever been that there wasn't a single vegetable. There were not on the whole menu. It was like everything was fried and everything. And I was like, this is great. This reminds me of Philly, man. Nothing. They're like, F those vegetables, man. We'll fry it. Yeah, you want it? We'll fry it up and give it to you. You want some cake? We'll fry it. Banana, fry it. Yeah.
All right. The only thing I've never had. Have you had the whole fried like chocolate bar thing, like the fried Oreos, the fried Snicker bars, all that? Have you done that?
I had a.
How does that work?
Butter stick. They fried butter.
Oh.
Yeah, and it's weird. I don't know how they do it, but they did it. I guess it's like a quick fry thing, and it was like a stick of butter fried. So when you bite into it, the butter's in there, and all the grease.
That's too far for me. A step too far for me.
It's I'm going to say this: Hollywood can be shallow, can be if you're eating fried butter, Dan. There's only certain type of roles you're going to book if you're eating fried butter. You're not going to be playing Prince William. There'd be no, Dan, no, don't eat the fried butter. People don't know that about LA. When you leave LA, if you fly somewhere, when you get back, they weigh you when you come back, and they won't let you back in if you go on vacation. So be careful when you go on vacation. They won't let you back into Hollywood. You ready to get Amy on here so we can get somebody who knows what they're talking about to help us out?
You know what I want Amy to tell me too is how to properly hold this too. Do we know that?
How to hold so the whole idea behind the snifter was that you're holding it to warm the glass. Okay.
So I actually hold the bulb part here.
Yeah, that was the idea behind it. Is it's going to warm it up and get it to the right temperature where you want to have that. So and obviously there's other things like the darker it is, the older it is. You're really supposed to drink it neat. Amy's going to tell you all this. But that's why that glass is designed this way.
The whole time going, I don't know how to hold this, and I don't want to be wrong.
So it's like this. It's like and if you're holding your ceramic ice cream glass, if you're drinking, let me say this. If you're drinking cognac out of a ceramic ice cream glass, you've got bigger problems than knowing how to hold it. Yeah, you got bigger problems. So don't do it. PSA from me to you. Don't drink out of that. Drink it out of here. So now I'm going to bring her on. She is she's like the brand master expert of the universe, captain of cognac, the queen of cognac. Let's think of, now I want to go with alliteration. She's the queen of cognac, the captain of cognac, the commandant of cognac, help me out here, Dan. Help me out.
She's it. She's it for cognac.
She's it. That's it. Okay.
She's it.
Amy Yakuboff joining us. How are you, Amy?
Hey, I'm good. And I had some thoughts as to names kind of when you introduced me, and now we're going Queen of Cognac. If I nail this, I could just be Amy Cognacabuff. It kind of rolls off of my last name, Cognacabuff. It's like a little French-Russian, hybrid, but just an idea. But I like where you guys are going, so I appreciate that.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm also in Brooklyn. I'm sort of not down the street anymore, but Dan and I lived down the street, or I lived down the street from him at one point, just found this out, and in Brooklyn, just in another neighborhood. And, I'm drinking out of my little Glencairn, and I have a beer glass that I will be using as a mock snifter, which, holding it, it's the opposite of wine. Everyone holds wine by the stem in order not to chill it. but you want to hold it by, you can warm it up a little bit because it makes the aromatics come out just that much more. So I think that's a good place to start in a way in terms of a cognac journey and just kind of understanding the spirit a little bit more.
So how did you, Amy, what is your journey to cognac? How did you become an expert?
Well, my journey is through working at Flaviar. So I'm on the brand team at Flaviar, and we're responsible for coming up with all these great new releases and spirits to release to our members and community. So the journey to cognac specifically in regards to Frérot predates my employment at Flaviar, but I know it. I'm happy to share it. So briefly, Frérot launched initially in 2018 with our Frérot XO. And we wanted to create the people's cognac, make it a little more approachable to consumers and make it a little bit more like whiskey in the sense that it's an everyday occasion kind of spirit. I 100% was watching Cobra Kai last night while sipping cognac.
I'm into it too. I'm into that show.
I finished it. I almost finished the cognac.
I'm only on episode 2 of season 1, but it's just watching Billy Zabka has renewed my faith.
Oh my God.
Billy Zabka is still going, has renewed my faith in humanity.
At first, I thought it was really cheesy, and then I got really invested in it, and I was like, "This is amazing!" And
Dan, if you watched it,
I have not seen it yet, but I'm adding to my queue right now because of that.
Remember, drink cognac and watch Cobra Kai. You'll be good.
Exactly.
That's what it pairs best with.
It's great. It's totally highbrow, lowbrow. But in 2018, we wanted to crowd taste and crowdsource information from the Flaviar community. And the Flaviar community definitely leans towards whiskey drinkers. So what we did was we sent out 800 of these sample kits containing 3 wildly different cognacs to our members, didn't tell them any information about it, and just asked for their feedback. They were really different in terms of ABV and age. And we found out that these guys like higher ABV, no surprise, and a little bit of more age on their cognacs. So we took that information, and our founder at Flaviar and master blender, Grisha Soba, had the really difficult task of going to cognac. So jealous. And meeting with these producers and grape growers and, telling them, listen, we're looking for an aged cognac. We want it to be, a little bit boozier, and have this conversation with them to ultimately create the first iteration of Frérot XO. And that turned out to be an assemblage de cru, meaning it's cognac that was blended from all the different regions, all 6 regions in cognac, and aged from 20 to 35 years. So bringing us back to 2020, the best year ever, we decided to make it extra because it's been, quite a year in itself. So we created Frérot Extra using the same feedback that we got from consumers and, modifying it just a little bit. Instead of using all the crus, we focused on one, the best cru out there, which is Grand Champagne. It makes up 17% of all cognac production, and we beefed up the age just a little bit more. So we are using cognacs, we've married them together, and they're aged anywhere from 30 to 50 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Now, do you when you introduce this brand, so what is the ABV on this? You were talking about how they wanted to be higher. So what is it?
So Frérot XO, the other cognac was 42%. This one's 41%. So we took it down a little bit just to balance it out.
41%. So
40 wonderful.
82 proof. You know that, Dan? Whatever the ABV is, you double it, and that's the proof.
I'm appreciating that. I'm observing the 41. I'm taking it. I'm learning so much already.
Now, what are you getting? What are you getting, Dan, flavor-wise in this? I'm jealous of your snifter. Really. I'm telling you that right now.
But how long should I let it air out? It's like, what is the appropriate amount of time? Is it like right away you can pour it in, and then, or do you? What's the protocol? What do I do here?
Well, you want to agitate. You want to whenever you're nosing any spirit, you want to agitate it. You could call it swirling, whatever. You want to agitate the liquid. Mm-hmm. Not that much. I just agitated it all over my face. I was like, I'm just upset the Flyers are losing. No, And then you never want to jam your nose all the way in there because it'll burn out your nostrils. So when you're smelling it, I keep my mouth open a little bit, so I'm almost breathing it in, not just smell like I'm smelling, but I also have my mouth open. So you're really right. So now you're getting those notes.
Say a little cinnamon. Do you get cinnamon from that?
Totally.
Exactly. Yeah.
Cinnamon?
I'm yeah. That was one of the first notes that I picked up on. And this, like, a wave of memories came, like, rushed forward when I smelled this. And to me, it reminded me of my grandparents' house. I got a lot of dried apricot and nuttiness, like walnuts. And that's what we would have out when we'd go over for, like, the Jewish holidays. We'd have dried apricots and all this other stuff and walnuts. But, like, smelling that and tasting that, just light bulb moment. But another cool note to hopefully we can pick up on, and I actually get it a lot from the cork, is that raspberry note. And it's something that I don't normally associate with brown, aged spirits, but at the same time, this is also wine based. So it makes sense, like, logically, but that's an indicator of, a bit of age on your cognac. In addition to something called rancio, and that's almost like an all-encompassing term for things like oak, leather, spice, fruit. So it's just kind of in which, like, the flavor profile and the notes kind of lie. But cinnamon was one of, when I first opened the bottle, because I think also, I've gone through a little bit, at that time.
Amy, you hear me earlier in the show when I mentioned responsible drinking? This
is part of my work,
this is over. You're saying this has been over a long period of time. Hey, by the way, I want to just remind everybody, jump in the comments section there. Send us your comments and also the 3 best Dans, living Dans of all time. And I want to just address, we got a bunch of comments coming in. We got Ash McHugh wants to know, Dan, and if you don't want to say, it's okay. What's your little fella's name?
Oh, my son, Theodore, Teddy.
Teddy. That's a great name. That's a great name. Yeah, all right. Ash McHugh wanted to know that. We have Nan Todd. Oh, Nan was giving me some information. If you take the ferry, this is great because I was thinking about going back to Ludington. Thank you, Nan. If you take the ferry from Manitowoc, Wisconsin, it lands in Ludington, Michigan. Did a midnight summer crossing, and it was amazing. Nan, thank you for that. If I'm ever in Manitowoc, Wisconsin, and I need to get the hell out to Ludington, I'll know to take the ferry. Now, Stephen Marino says, hi, Dan. You, Dan Amboyer. You know me. You know him. You better. He's in Brooklyn, and he's one of your biggest fans.
Aww.
Dan, Stephen Marino is one of your biggest fans.
Thanks for coming in to join us for a fireside cognac.
And Ross Burkhoff, not to be left out, Amy, Ross Burkhoff says, what's up, Amy? Lots of exclamation points. We are huge fans. And by the way, anybody out there, it's okay that nobody seems to be a fan of mine. I'm not seeing any of those, but
I am CD. Come on.
That's amazing.
Oh my God. Is it because the Flyers? Is it like the Flyers are losing and I have no fans? And then Chris Maxwell says the best movie pairing for this cognac is absolutely Greyhound with Tom Hanks. Chris, is this the one movie of Tom Hanks that no one's ever heard of? Has anybody heard of Greyhound with Tom Hanks?
No.
It's just a joke, Chris Maxwell. I think I've seen I've watched Castaway, I think 15 times alone. I've never heard of Greyhound. Oh, maybe, is that the new one that he did? The war? It's probably a war movie.
The only Greyhound I know is a cocktail.
I need you to chime back in, Chris Maxwell, and tell us what the hell you're talking about. If you're messing with us, Chris, I will cut you off. Okay, and then finally, not finally, but Lupe Silva says, Yakuboff. I guess you got a new nickname, Amy.
Great. I'm going to update my Instagram handle immediately after the show.
Oh, and then we have an actual question from Ross Burkhoff. Amy, can you tell us about the types of white grapes used to make cognac? Obviously, Uni Blanc is being the primary one. Yeah.
Yeah, there's Uni Blanc, which actually, if you were in Italy, it'd be called Trebbiano, and they make Trebbiano as a table wine. So if you ever come across a bottle of Trebbiano, you can certainly give it a shot and drink it and know that, hey, this is the same grape they use in most cognacs. The 2 other grapes are Fall Blanche and Colombard. Colombard also is made into a dry wine. Their wines are super acidic, especially where they're grown in Cognac, which another point to mention is the region in which Frérot Extra comes from, Grand Champagne, is not the Champagne wine growing region. That's north of Paris. Cognac is southwest of Paris. So just to kind of keep in mind, but they have similar soils, which is lime and clay and sandstone, limestone. But the wines that, or the grapes that are grown for Cognac production generally result in a super acidic, not that tasty wine. But yeah, the three big ones are Uni Blanc, Paul Blanche, and Colombard. And these Frérot is 95% Uni Blanc.
We have a little breaking news here. Marcos SV78, Dan Dunn, big fan.
You got one.
I got one. And Chris Maxwell has clarified.
Right now, subscribing to your podcast, Dan Dunn.
I love it. I'm going to have you on the podcast. Chris Maxwell has clarified this mysterious Tom Hanks movie is on Apple TV, so it is the new one. It was supposed to be released in theaters, but it's a World War II movie called Greyhound. It's on, and we're not being paid for this ad, but we're giving it anyway. I haven't seen it. Now,
I did get those push notifications now that I think about it.
Amy, I haven't seen you pick up your phone and subscribe to the podcast. I hope that's happening.
I did it already.
All right, sure. Now, again, everybody, 3 best Dans. At the end of the show, we're going to be giving away the bottle of Frérot Cognac. That's 4 times I've held it up. And we're also be giving away a Flaviar membership. And what else? What else, Amy? Tell us more. Lay some more knowledge on us. And Dan, you must have some questions for Amy, right? Got to have something for her.
Oh, so many.
One more thing in regards to giveaways. If people go to Frérot Cognac's Instagram page and like it, there's a chance to win some other Frérot-inspired prizes. But again, yeah, Frérot Cognac, Instagram, chance to win. So that's a little.
By the way, by no means was I supposed to say that at the top of the show and forgot. I did. Sorry. Yeah, go to the Instagram.
No.
By the way, Dan, can I say something about your positive energy? Because earlier I don't think it was there, but then as soon as you said you're going to subscribe to the podcast, Flyers scored and tied the game up. See?
Oh my God!
We're right there. We are right there. Same shirt.
Dan's got it put together.
Dan's got. I don't know about you, but I've been beset upon my whole life as a Dan. Been struggling. Yeah, the Dans. People come for the Dans.
Mm.
Yeah, think about it. Think about some of the most tragic figures in history have been Dans. There was Dan. Wasn't the guy that started World War I a Dan? Oh, Ferdinand. Sounds like
Ferdinand.
I thought it was Dan. I think his nickname was Dan, though. I'm reaching now. You know what? Screw it. It's that time. We're going ice cream. Here we go. Let's get in.
Cognac in a cone. I love it. You put the cone in cognac, or the cognac in the cone.
Wow. This is why Flaviar pays you the big bucks.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. That kind of
Yep. But okay, so Double D. We're talking Dan Dunn over here. I have a question for you, or just maybe a point that you might find interesting. So, you know how people think cognac is the super stuffy, frou-frou kind of drink, and they don't know how to drink it, and they don't know what to compare it to. Do you ever just do you ever sit back and think, what I did today? I was like, this is not that different from whiskey. We're really talking grapes versus grains here, and how whiskey drinkers, who are maybe thinking about how, should they try whiskey? Should they invest in a bottle? The process is pretty similar. It's just what you're starting with as the base ingredient. And I don't know, it's just something that I think context would help. And I think it's an interesting point perhaps to maybe, I would love to get your thought.
I think you're right on that. You can certainly play around with cognac in some cocktails as well.
Yeah.
I personally, for me, cognac is very evocative of, I've been on the mountain all day. You go to après ski, you're sitting by the fire, and you just got a nice snifter of brandy in your hand, and it lends a feeling of there's a weight behind it. There's a weight to drinking it, and it brings with it its own sort of vibe, I think.
Yeah.
But you're right. It is for people that love whiskey. that want to sort of broaden their, horizons in terms of drinking, you certainly can't go wrong with cognac. And I think this is a delicious cognac. I'm really enjoying it. And that's not because they're paying me to say that. Not. How's that, Dan? How'd you like my? And I wasn't acting there. I mean, the delivery was good.
It was really good. It was really strong. No, I really enjoy it. I love it. There's something about the experience of it too, though. Me, and something about, just having this here.
I love it. I'm gonna switch over to that glass soon.
Well, look at you. I mean, this is the difference. You look like a cognac. Hold that glass up again. Come on, man. You got the wood. You got the wood in the background. You got the old piano. This is I need to dim the light.
That's what I need to do. I need to really.
Frérot needs to hire you as the spokesperson. Look at this, man.
Yeah,
come on. Celebrity spokesperson, Dan Amboyer.
I know.
And I'm kicking back. Folks, here it is. Dan's going to be like, folks, the kid's in bed. I got some jazz playing, and it's cognac time.
Dan Amboyer, I have your email, so.
Oh, hey.
Dan might be picking up a new spokesperson gig here, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I have to say, we put the kid to bed, but we haven't had dinner yet. So this is a nice pre-dinner.
Yeah.
Fireside sip here. Yeah, no, it's really.
I always like to, go into dinner having had a spirit that's so much older than me. It makes me feel really good about that meal I'm about to have. No, it's just nice knowing, drinking a spirit that's so old.
So the question for you, because
yeah.
when I was reading about it online. So wait, so maybe you said this again, but did I read 30 to 50 years?
30 to 50.
Really?
Yeah. Yep.
That's insane. That's kind of insane.
It really is. And cognac, similar to whiskey, is, it's kind of designed to be blended. It's more common that they're blended bottles and it's not really a single vineyard. I mean, it's certainly possible, but that gives you the freedom and flexibility to really kind of hone in on the tasting profile and the notes that you're looking for. And the absolute youngest cognac that we use in this is 30 years. So.
And by the way, Dan, that's also my settings on my Bumble profile, 30 to 50. You're in there. 30 to 50. They're range, how far away is it? Now, during COVID, I've stretched my range out to 200 miles. I'll go anywhere. For
a safe social distance date, I hope.
Yes, come on.
Oh my.
Yes, I have my own plexiglass screen that I bring with me to the date. Put it right in the middle. Marie Fitzpatrick wants to know, Amy, do you ever mix? Wait, what do you want to know? Do you ever mix cognac? Mix. I'm assuming she means make a cocktail with it.
Yeah, definitely. And it's interesting. A lot of the recipes and the cocktails that we know today originally had cognac in them, like the Sazerac. That was originally created with brandy in mind, especially in New Orleans and big French influence there. And then phylloxera came and kind of killed all the grapes in France, and brandy went bye-bye for a little bit. And then Sazerac rye kind of, capitalized on that moment. But a French 75, actually, how that's usually gin, lemon, and champagne, can also be made with cognac. I had one this weekend at a bar in Cobble Hill, and I was pleasantly surprised to see a French 75 with cognac on the menu. It was awesome. There is the brandy crusta. There is the
the sidecar. You can do the sidecar.
Yeah, there's Vieux Carré, which is also another New Orleans native of a cocktail that is Benedictine. I actually have it written down on my notes just because I didn't want to forget. But Vieux Carré is Benedictine rye and cognac. It's a stirred drink. And nice little rule of thumb, just as a tip out there for everyone who loves cocktails, is if your cocktail has juice in it, lemon juice, lime juice, it's shaken. If it's all spirit, you want to stir it just to not disrupt the and aerate the liquor too much. You want it to remain really viscous and smooth. But anything that whiskey can be used with is great for cognac. So a cognac old fashioned, a cognac Manhattan is awesome. But honestly, I'm really digging that French 75 that I had with cognac in it. Just cognac, champagne or other sparkling wine, and some lemon, and it was beautiful.
What about in cereal? Because it's COVID.
Absolutely.
Can I have it in my cereal?
I think it pairs the best with Captain Crunch.
Captain Crunch, because you get the peanut butter mingles right in there with the
really
with the cinnamon notes. Yeah.
Maybe cinnamon toast crunch actually with that cinnamon note.
But that might be cinnamon overload. That could be cinnamon overload.
Never
Right, you're
tried
right.
cinnamon toast crunch. I'm
It
in.
depends on like if it's Saigon cinnamon or Canel, but I dig that. Also, eggnog. Eggnog was originally cognac and rum. Sorry, I got upset about that. Yeah.
Oh.
And then we Americanized it with burnbon.
Why did we do that?
I don't know, because America. That's why.
Earl Arnold wants to know: is cognac best as an after dinner?
Tonight it's best as a pre-dinner.
Pre-dinner,
I'm finding a good relaxing for the day.
What are you doing eating so late? I feel like this is not healthy for you to be eating this late. Well, you're in New York. Everybody does everything later in New York.
Yeah.
I like to do intermittent fasting. I try to eat like by 6 p.m. Boom, done. But that means I have to get my drinking in earlier. So cognac really, I understand it's really nice to be by a fire, be in front of the TV watching Cobra Kai and drinking cognac. But it really can think of it like a whiskey. If you're going to, have an afternoon and it's a Saturday and you're like, I'm going to start drinking it too. And you want some cognac, by all means, go for it. As my wise coworker Alyaj says, the only fail when it comes to drinking cognac is not drinking it at all.
Profound. And by the way, speaking of things to say, somebody did chime in, Dan, for you, helping. Chris Maxwell once helped out with you on the spokesperson. So he's saying if you were to lean back, lift your snifter up and say, for relaxing times, make it Frérot time. Yeah, but you can't rhyme time with time. You can't. You gotta it's got to be. It's got to be something.
Stop it a little bit first, maybe.
Yeah,
but I love the idea.
Plus, Dan's agent needs to be involved before, I will not have, in fact, on behalf of Dan's agent, I'm not going to have him say any lines until we've drawn up a contract. Although it looks good. Yeah. Dan, do you keep in touch? I mean, do you hear from your representation now? Is that like, is it to say before, have they all been fired? I mean, I saw CAA, I think, laid off, 60% of the agents.
Yeah.
But are you getting to talk to them or?
Yeah. I mean, I had a meeting with the director yesterday via Skype, which was cool, which was great. But I was saying it's so different because, when you're in a room, who's in the room. But all of a sudden at the end of the thing, I realized that there's a whole group of just invisible phantoms watching the session that I didn't know were there. So that was interesting. But of
course, making snarky comments. They're in a chat. They're going, can you believe he wore that shirt? No, I'm kidding.
They were getting notes in the chat, things that you would never know. You know what I mean? It's a whole new world. But we'll be back soon. I know.
We'll be back soon. Q wants to know, drinking cognac, or I don't know if he wants to know. I mean, drinking cognac is like the perfect end to any day. Well, of course. I started with Cavassier, VSOP, XO. But can you explain all the different? I just did this, Q. Mm-hmm. I did this earlier in the show.
Very special.
Yeah, Dan knows. Dan was paid. See, Dan listens to me. This is what I'm saying, Dan, about the Dans. Just dismiss me. It's like, oh, he's just a Dan. I don't have to listen to him. Oh. Yeah, I already explained this. You got to roll the tape back, Q. Go back and rewatch this. But go ahead, Amy. Give it to him.
So there's VS, which is very special. There's VSOP, which is very superior old pal, and then there's XO, which is extra old, and there's all these like little subcategories in between. But a little fun fact about this guy, holding it up for you, Dan. So it's hors d'âge, which means beyond age. So we have extra and beyond in one cognac, and I think that's pretty. Yeah, and that's usually 30, 40, 50, upwards of 60 years old.
So it's like beyond meat. So it's not really cognac. It's, yeah.
Exactly.
So, Amy, can I ask a question? What is like the oldest liquor that you've consumed? I'm just curious. What's
it might. Okay, that's a really good question because I've consumed a bit.
Do you cut it off at a certain point? You're like,
absolutely. I don't discriminate. I'm not ageist.
Can I jump in here? I've been to cognac numerous times, and the oldest thing I've ever had, I've been all over, distilleries all over the world for everything. The oldest thing I've ever had was cognac in cognac. Where was I? At Hein Cognac. And I think it was, so this probably was 10 years ago. And I believe what I drank was from 1910.
Oh my God.
Yeah. It's crazy. So it was about 90 years old.
How would you describe that? I mean, could you immediately tell it was?
Yeah, oh yeah. I mean, it's very. I mean, it's so it starts to lose its character. I'm gonna guess maybe 50, 60, 70 years. It starts to really you're just drinking it for the experience. It's not something that I would describe as particularly enjoyable, but it held up. It held up, but it's very flat. It's very it doesn't have this vibrancy that you get here, and it's just it's more just the idea that what fascinates me, and anytime I'm drinking a spirit or a wine that's old, is that I like to think about the craft of making it. So at some point, if you're talking about 50-year-old, so somebody was out there picking the grapes 50 some years ago, and a lot of these people that were involved in the making of this thing that you're holding in your hand, or in Dan's case, in his fancy snifter, a lot of these people aren't around anymore, and you think about just the time, all the things that have happened since then. The Beatles were around, when the Beatles were a band then, and that, when this thing went into bottle, and it's, that is something that I always try to keep in mind when I'm drinking aged spirits, of how special it is that this thing has traveled across time and it's not changed. Everything else
Beautifully put. Beautifully.
Yeah. And by the way, cognac does not, people know this, it is made out of grapes. It does not age like wine. Okay. Right. Just so everybody knows that. Yeah. Even though the Uni Blanc grape, well, you wouldn't want to really make wine out of Uni Blanc grapes, but yeah, it's not going to work well, but yeah.
Yeah. Because cognac is twice distilled. So it's extra distilled as far away from wine as possible, in a sense, in terms of style, and the fact that it gets really proofed up to 74%. That's when it goes into barrels. From our cognac went into limousine barrels, the creme de la creme. It's either limousine or what Transe is the other forest in cognac. But yeah, I think that aged spirits are beautiful because it represents time travel. And if I could have any superhero like power, it would be to time travel. And I think one way to do that is, these people, again, who made this stuff 50, 60, 70 years ago are probably no longer with us, but they had the chance to leave their mark, and they did that through a bottling and, with other things, in the world as well. But I think, yeah, it's a lot of people think that it's better and best to drink aged spirits or super aged, and that's not always the case. I think that, they're great for different reasons, such as being able to experience, like if you take a moment and sit back and think this was made before the Beatles came to America, and like what the world was like. It's a really cool thing to do if you're interested in history.
By the way, Amy, you reminded me, there's an old diner in Philadelphia called the Red Robin Diner. And when I was a teenager, I chewed some gum and I stuck it under the table, right?
You left
and that diner's still there. And I'm wondering, I think that gum is going to outlast someday, many years from now, when I'm gone and they excavate that, they're going to go, look at this. Dan Dunn. Did Dan Dunn chew this gum and stick it under here? That's my legacy. That's the thing I'm leaving behind.
Preserved. It'll be.
We got more comments coming in. Hold on. Look at this. It's crazy. By the way, you got 1 minute to get your 3 best living Dans in. 1 minute, and we're cutting it off, and then we're going to the competition. Robert Carl wants to know, Dan A. Oh, can't say his whole name, can you? Dan A. When playing Prince William.
Dan A.
Yeah, Dan A. Not Dan B. When playing Prince William, did you have to work on your accent, or did it come easily?
Well, I'm from Detroit.
Which is where a lot of royalty hails from, British royalty.
Yeah. No, I mean, it was I worked really hard during the audition process to get it. It was my first big job. And so, I competed with actors from London, so I kind of had to nail it before I got the part. So once I had it, it was kind of there. But I watched a lot of YouTube, and I watched a lot of video from Prince William, the real guy, just to really make it really specific to who he was.
I mean, one day I want to ask a question like that, and I went the actor, and I didn't give a shit. I just went in and said, right. Now where's this queen? that would be what I would do.
I 100% watched that movie, by the way. I have a thing for. Oh, absolutely. Like, for real. That and Younger are like my tie to you. But
I love the end. Blew up the thing and you walked away. Remember, you were like, and they had the slow motion of you walking away. It wasn't that movie?
Yeah, that was the end of the Prince William movie, I think.
They're the only movies I watch.
Like,
at the end of the movie, something has to be blown up, and you got to be walking away from the fire behind you, like, I don't care.
No, at the end of Younger, I think that was me in the fire. Yeah, I was the thing being walked away from.
And Younger was Darren Star, right? The guy.
Yeah. Sex and City.
Yeah.
Oh, that's at Melrose Place, 90210. Yeah.
Amazing.
Oh, good.
We want to get to our Dans. I'm excited. I want to see who the people talking about here with the Dans. What do you think?
I'm excited to hear this because I think we have a commonality in our favorite third Dan.
I would think. Well, I hope people.
Someone hits it.
I hope people wouldn't be so tawdry and cheap as to include these two Dans in the list and think that would get you somewhere. Because I really feel like, I mean, we're not that vain, really, to do something. Let's go. All right, we'll just jump in with some of these here, and I'm going to throw them out, and you guys tell me. So, Cool Hand Luke says Dan Dunn.
What a shock.
Dan Wheeler and Dan Kiefer. Now you can't win. You didn't include him. I can't.
Okay, strike him. Strike him from the contest.
So cool. But hey, Cool Hand Luke, between you and me, you're right. Okay. Wasumba 99. Wasumba, what's up? Wasumba 99 says Dan Aykroyd, Daniel Day-Lewis, and Dan Marino, football player.
Oh,
that's
pretty good.
Day-Lewis.
That's a good list.
So, all right, we keep that in back of our heads. Gordon Enquist, Dan Aykroyd, Dan Dunn, Daniel Day-Lewis. By the way, they don't feel like sucking up to you is going to get them anywhere here, Dan.
Who has free liquor? That is the question here. Who has the?
Had I said Dan Amboyer was going to make the final call, which you might, but I know Dan's a big fan of mine. So let's see. All right, we got I like this one. Who's Dan Wheeler? Who is that?
Googling.
As my dad would say, Google it.
Google it. Let me go. I'm going to skip through some of these. A lot of people like Dan Marino. I guess we got Miami people in here.
He's a professional baseball player. You should know.
Oh.
Weighing 220 pounds.
I don't know who that is. All right, Ryan Lieb says Daniel Craig, Daniel Day-Lewis, and Danny DeVito. That's a good one. That's a good list.
I love Penguin. Love his Penguin.
100%.
But Mark Hart comes in with Dan Dunn. Yay! Dan Rather and Danny Matters. I don't know who that is.
Googling.
Dan Brown, Daniel Radcliffe, Danny Trejo. That's pretty good. Awesome. Amaya. I can't believe nobody's putting you in here because you're going to win if you just put, it's too late now though, but let's see.
Yeah.
Springbuds 3189 says Steely Dan. Oh, that's clever. That is clever. Daniel Day-Lewis and Danny Glover. That's pretty good. All three of those.
I think we can agree Daniel Day-Lewis has won this competition.
Daniel Day-Lewis, man, people love him. What is up with the Dan Marino? There's so many Dan Marinos. Dan Dunn, oh, wait a minute. Marcos V78 says Dan Dunn, Dan Amboyer, and Dan Marino. Hey. And Allison Marie says Dan Amboyer ahead of me. Good move. Allison's getting it. The star is the star, and then there's me. Dan Amboyer, Dan Dunn, and Dan, her husband. Oh,
that's sweet.
I'm a sucker for schmaltz. I
love schmaltz.
She knows how we get when we're drinking cognac.
Yeah.
Hold on.
I changed glassware. I wanted to continue to accessorize.
I think we got to move Allison Marie to the lead. Do you guys agree at this point right now?
Is the apple of my eye right now.
All right. She put her husband in there. That's nice.
Sweet.
Okay. Nikki Berthum Horter said Dan Aykroyd, Dan Woolley, and Dan Radcliffe. I don't even know who Dan Woolley is. There's another Dan Marino from Crystal Choi. People love Aykroyd too. Aykroyd. Oh,
well, that was my choice. That was
Candle Power says Marino, Aykroyd, and Castellaneta. That's Homer Simpson, everybody. Homer Simpson.
Wow, that's deep.
Oh.
Marie Fitzpatrick, Daniel Craig, Dan Aykroyd, Danny DeVito. Good.
Mm-hmm.
Bob Proctor comes in with the great Dan Dunn.
Whoa.
Sorry, whoever put her husband in there. I think you're out. And Dan the Man Levington and Lieutenant Dan. Lieutenant
Dan.
Lieutenant Dan. Come on. That's a Tom Hanks movie we all know, right?
Yeah. 100%.
Gump. What's your favorite? Let's stop here on the contest for a second. I got to ask you, Amy, what's your favorite Tom Hanks? Give me your favorite Tom Hanks movie.
Oh God, that's really hard. I love That Thing You Do.
Ooh, that's a good one.
It was like kind of what made me want to get into the music industry, which I did major in college. But it was like I was like 12 when
you mean the movie? I thought you meant The Thing I Do.
Oh, that's all right.
You don't have to suck up to me. You already got the cognac.
I don't know. They're all right, but I love That Thing You Do.
Thing You Do. Dan Amboyer. What's
I'm gonna say big.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
We are. Look how we are feeling sentimental tonight.
Yeah.
Big. Come on, let's raise a glass just to Big and sentimentality and Allison's husband or whoever he is. Anyway, we got a couple more entries. I want to be fair. I want to be fair here.
I have to fact check this later.
Yeah, I know. By the way, we got Dan's googling to make sure nobody's making shit up.
Yeah, right. But you didn't say they had to be celebrities, so they might not immediately.
Could have been any Dan. That's what I'm saying. So yeah, we got another. Dave Brown says Aykroyd Rather and Dan Tanner. I don't know who that. Dan Tanner.
How about Danny Tanner from Full House?
Oh, that's what he's saying. Danny Tanner. Okay. I thought he meant Dan Tanner. I'm like, the restaurant in LA? That's a great place. I love it. You know who got somebody? Phil. Oh, never mind. I'm not gonna bring that up. That'll just bring the mood down. We don't want to bring up Phil Spector and Dan Tanner. What happened there? So on the winner, I want to make sure, I'm gonna defer to Dan Amboyer and Amy on this. We liked Steely Dan, Daniel Day-Lewis, and Danny Glover, but
there's also the Danny DeVito, Daniel Day-Lewis, and the other Dan.
Yeah.
What was that
really?
I liked that one though.
Yeah, and I feel like if we were to go with the one, where is she? I lost her. That went with her husband. Oh, Allison Marie. I mean, her husband, I'm sure he's a great dude. But then if we were to go with Dan Amboyer and Dan Dunn, I feel like it might send the message that, we have big egos or we're vain. And so she won, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Right, Dan? You on board? We give her the prize?
Let's confer. Yep. Okay.
We are both great. I mean, if we're being honest, we're probably the best Dans. And her husband, I should bring it up. I was at Allison Marie's wedding, and he's a sweet guy. I never met him. I don't know who this is. Amy, what do you think? Should we give Allison Marie the?
Yeah.
Because we got another one we're going to give away. This is the bottle of Frérot Cognac. Yes, we're in agreement on this.
Yeah.
Okay, so Allison Marie, congratulations, you've won, courtesy of Flaviar Frérot Cognac, and now we got to give away the membership to Flaviar, and which you guys tell me. I mean, Dan Amboyer, you got any favorites in there? I mean, some of the ones you heard.
I love who mentioned Danny DeVito.
Yeah.
A lot of people, a lot of DeVito. So we'll go down. We got, Marie Fitzpatrick, and Marie's here every week. You know what? Marie Fitzpatrick, I know that name. There's certain names that I see, and I love that Marie's here with us every week. She said Daniel Craig, love Daniel Craig, Dan Aykroyd. By the way, shameless plug, Dan Aykroyd was on my podcast, What We're Drinking with Dan Dunn, 2 weeks ago. Check it out. And Danny DeVito. I mean, that's great Dan's, right?
And I think that's great.
What do you think, Dan Amboyer? Even though you weren't on there, neither was I.
I'm co-signing all of that.
All right. So Marie Fitzpatrick, who's been here week in and week out, she's always here joining us. Marie, congratulations. You are a Flaviar member.
Yay.
All right.
Hey.
Yes.
I feel like I've commented with Marie like a bit in the, I watch most weeks, and go Marie. I'm happy for you.
By the way, when we have Dan Amboyer on my show, we're not giving away anything. You'll get nothing and like it. That was was that a Dan? No, that was, who said that? Who was Judge Smales in Caddyshack?
Mm.
Ted Knight. Ted. Maybe next time we do 3 famous Teds. I don't even know if I could name 3 famous Teds. Ted Knight, Ted Williams, baseball player.
And Dan's son,
His
if he
son.
becomes a Ted. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, see? That's the kind of shameless sucking up that we love on this show. You would have won. You would have won. You would have had Dan's kid.
She definitely would have won. Come on.
I got to say, this has been a lot of fun. I really have enjoyed it doing this. Dan, where can people find you on the social medias?
People can find me on Instagram at Dan Amboyer, not Dana Amboyer, although they look very similar.
Is there a Dana Amboyer?
You're looking at her.
No, I meant, is there a Dana and then Amboyer with 2 A's?
No. But yeah, you can find me at all platforms. Dan Breath Amboyer.
Yes. And make sure you take the rest. It's important, especially when you're having cognac. And as far as the projects, you got the show on the CW.
Yeah, we got that, and you can go back and watch during this quarantine. I would suggest binging Younger. You will see me as my evil twin and my more evil twin and Younger, which is very fun.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy being a douchebag on shows, and then watch all the stuff. Blacklist, Redemption. That's another hoot of playing someone who you think that he is and he's not. So I enjoy playing 2 characters, we're going to say. But anyway, yes, you can do that and watch Tell Me a Story on CW. That's where you'll find me right now.
Man, busy. And Amy, what about you?
You can find me at my home working on all things Flaviar all the time. No, but on Instagram, if anyone wants to, you have to get a pen and paper for this one because it's like my last name. But instead of Yakuboff, it's Rockabuff, ROCKU, B as in boy, OFF as in French fry. Yeah, I've been saying that just for 34 years. But yeah, what I'm working on. We have some pretty cool things coming up for Flaviar members. Maybe there is an announcement tomorrow. And I know that we have. Is
the announcement that I'm being fired?
Yeah, actually,
because I feel like that's coming every
now, right? No.
Every Friday. I feel like that's going to be the announcement. We're moving on. We've hired Dan. We saw Dan Amboyer cradling that snifter.
Been my audition. I didn't want to tell you, but it's gone well. It's gone really well so far. So
yeah, next week we're dark, but actually Dan Amboyer is just filling in with a British accent. We're going to test that out.
See, they told me we weren't doing a show next week.
Just temporarily. It's just you going on vacation a little bit.
Yeah, No, but I know in a couple weeks we're doing a Shopmat tasting Armenian brandy while we're on the brandy train. So I know that you'll be.
And we got a bunch of cool guests. I mean, my buddy Zane Lamprey is going to be on the show in a couple of weeks. I love Zane. It's going to be a lot of fun. Again, as Amy mentioned, we are dark next week, but then there's a couple of weeks where we got 2 shows coming. I don't know. I feel like it's asking a lot of me to be able to do that, but
I got your back.
I'm a Dan. I'm a giver. We Dans are givers. But for real, Dan Amboyer, thank you so much, man. I know, taking the time, you get the kid, you're a busy guy, you got a lot going on, but this has been a great hour spending with you and Amy as well. And of course, everybody out there that joins us week in and week out. I'm really happy, Marie. I'm happy for you. You got your membership because I really love, there are a whole bunch of people that are with us every week. And it means a lot. It's kind of like having, we don't know each other, but it's nice that it's like you got a whole group of friends out there and we could all use that right now. I know we got to do this stuff remotely, but it certainly means a lot to me to be able to connect with people and talk to people. And I know, Dan, I'm sure for you having your fans chime in and tell you how much they loved your British accent. And frankly, I'm telling you the truth. He didn't work on that at all. He's that good. It's that good. It just came right to what accent? What is it? Swahili? I know Swahili. Yeah, I can do it. What's the toughest accent, Dan? Before I let you go, if they said, can you do Australian? Are you good at Australian? I'm not asking you to do it now, but I'm saying
I can. So I'm good. I'm really good at picking them up. But there's one time, real quick, I had this meltdown. I don't know if you remember. There was a music called Spamalot that was on Broadway.
Of course, Monty Python. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay, so yeah. So there's I was in the final callbacks for Spamalot while I was still running, and during the callbacks I had to switch between French, Scottish, Cockney, high RP, high British, and during the callback when there's 25 people staring at you, and I had a meltdown. Like, I'm pretty good with accents, but I had a meltdown. So I'm good unless if have 30 people in a room staring at you saying switch between Scottish and French, and then there's a meltdown. So
No, the meltdown.
And it's like, where are we? We're in no man's land. We're in Southeast Asia. I don't know where we are.
And by the way, we got an urgent message here. Zach Chiprut said, "Can Amy please do a Prince William accent before we go, and then have Dan evaluate it?" You did watch the movie. Let's hear it.
I watched. No, absolutely not. I could not.
You've got a professional thespian here.
Drinking game.
Coach me.
Right, I'll
what
do it.
sentence should I say?
Oh God.
I mean, they got engaged like 10 years ago.
I mean, the last line of the movie was, "Catherine, will you marry me?" So you can just do that. We'll just do that.
All right.
Thank you. You're in Africa. You're on the meadow. It's twilight.
I'm in on this too, by the way. I'm doing
All right,
this.
I'm kind of true. I'll do it because I'm not doing this by myself. I don't get
No,
paid.
you go first. What's the line again? Line.
It's
That's what you do.
Catherine, will you marry me?
Go ahead.
Catherine, will you it just sounds like me saying, Catherine, will you marry me with my Long Island accent? Catherine, will you marry me?
Oh, man, that's good.
I was a thespian in high school, by the way.
Okay,
were
let me
you?
try it.
Yeah. Always
Right.
extra.
Hold on a second. Hold on one second here. Here we go. What's the line again?
Catherine, will you marry me?
Okay. So I'm in love with Catherine. I just want to make sure I got my motivation down.
You're just staring into her eyes deep in the African wilderness on a meadow. It's twilight. You're staring at the stars, and she's the love of your life, and you need her to say yes. Go.
All right. For the love of sweet suffering Jesus, Catherine, will you marry me? Good. I get the part.
What? That was
On hold. We're gonna put you on hold.
I think we just add some music into the bottom. It'll work. It'll totally work.
Sweeping orchestra.
Swell.
Again, Dan Amboyer, Amy Yakuboff, thank you so much. I had a great time with you, and thank you everybody out there for joining us. We'll see you in 2 weeks right here on NightCap Live, and I'll be, I got some drinking to get to now.